Alrighty, hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. No avatar tonight because this is a separate recording. We're not streaming this live because I don't expect it to take very long. But we're going to be doing the next one of these. The Mamool Ja Society, Tribe, whatever, reputation quests. Those unaware, a lot of MMOs have this concept where you help out a small faction within a bigger one for a reputation, and eventually they trust you enough to give you some of their better rewards. It's quite nice. Nice to see you. Do you have a moment? This may not come as a surprise since you personally helped negotiate our import of foreign core, but a researcher has arrived from Charlian. I have a mind to go pay my respects, but, well, I know a little about Charlians and I'm worried I'll cause offense. Could you come along, if only for my peace of mind? My thanks. My name is Angier and should be the Southern District. I mentioned this in the main one, but while I did like the Troll stuff, it did feel like they kind of rushed through it for like a tourist tour in the first half, and now that we actually have most of the patches through the Dawntrail story, it's now obvious why. Tyrol is pretty much just a front to hide that the majority of the story is actually about to Alexandria and all that. Which is, well, if you're not a fan of the first half, I guess that's not too bad, but it does mean we lose a lot. Which is a shame, because when I played Monster Hunter Wilds, that felt like that storyline, as much as the fan base of that game hates it. Well, they don't hate it for so much as the fact that it gets in the way of the monster hunting, and that is respectable, but, let me just say, coming from this game, it is noticeable that that game goes, oh wait, it's been a bit too long, here, fight a monster. Whereas this one does still live and die by its talk to 3 people main story quests. Hello there, may I be of assistance? At the very least, these tribe quests should do a lot to help fix what the main story left behind. Like I said, I don't mind culture festivals and stuff like that, it's just that, the first half was really slow and didn't go into as much as it could have. But luckily, the, Pelu Pelu one did fix that problem for Kozamuuka, so hopefully we can get that fixed here for, Mamool Ja as well. I'm Mamool Ja, former mercenary. Now I fashion whatever odds and ends need making. The Torok says you've come to see the growth of new crops here. We want to express our gratitude. Oh, that's kind of you. My name is Angier, and it's a pleasure to be at your service. When I first heard my assignment, I was intrigued. A force dominated by the etheric influence of meteorites. Rest assured, we shall soon have an experimental granary up and running. New crops will flourish here. This I will promise. Indeed, my chief concern at the moment is not one of potential, but one of manpower. Mamook is rather sparse in its population, is it not? Yeah, it was mostly left behind by the isolationist population, which was not many, and even then a lot of them mostly do it felt out of feeling of obligation. Yes, most of our able-bodied workers have left and have become mercenaries or for other reasons. I myself would be glad to help, but I doubt one extra body counts for much. Well, obviously. You should use Wivers. Put to our use, our Wivers can solve any problem. I guess that's going to be the mount we unlock for it. Wait, no, you get one from the Endwalker event. What? Wait, what? Mamool Ja, how many years has it been? I thought you'd moved to Tulioli for good. When I heard the change was in the air for Mamook, I had to come and see for myself. Using Wivers sounds like an excellent idea. We could hitch them to plows and have them use heavy equipment. All we need now is someone willing to gather extra materials we require. I know a few gatherers, but most are getting on years. We'll have to find some adventurous soul if you need anything more than local mushrooms or odd medicinal herb. I handle beasts, not ore and timber. You? I'm an adventurous gatherer. Leave it to me. Then it's settled. You'll be compensated, I promise. I look forward to working with you. There you are. You both have my thanks. Think nothing of it. I'll gather whatever handles I can, explain the situation. I'm sure they'll want to help as well. Alright, so this is basically a continuation of the main story when they briefly stopped here in Mamook, which is good. Yeah, basically Kana promised that he would have Charlian help work with them to make some crops since they were having trouble with resources here. Not just due to the population that left, but also just because not much could grow here, or in the general sense. Coda, would you mind going with Ravul? He's a good lad, but he gets ahead of himself. You'll have more than proven your talent for communication, so if you're struggling to make a point, lend him a hand, won't you? Sounds good to me. Yeah. I believe at this point, Fisher's the only thing that's not level 100, and it's probably going to hit that long before I actually even finish this, so... Well, it is what it is. I know some people absolutely adore fishing, which is good, because it's the gathering job that is the most different. It relies a bit on RNG, but it is rather relaxing. I've heard some even like to listen to podcasts or YouTube videos in the background while doing so. I've done that while doing other grinds in this game, including the one I did for the Sugar Glider mount. Dubious, hesitant, harried. My Wyver's trained for battle. It won't be much use in farm. My darling has needs. I won't force him to do work he doesn't enjoy. Remind me why we're here again. As I've been saying, Wyvers are the answer, but ours are specifically trained for combat. How do you think they can help with farming? Coda, perfect timing. Tell them one Wyver is worth at least 10 men in the field, don't you? They'll stand in silence. Try convincing them. Believe me, we all want new crops. I'm happy to help. I just want to know what a Wyver trained for battle could be useful. We need them to haul equipment. That's a big part of it. I see. A Wyver with the strength for combat should have no problems with that. Very well. Both of us will be over presently. What does he expect our Wyvers to do? Hoe with their horns? More like pull heavy plows. Oh, that makes far more sense. Okay, that's what I need. We can do it. Okay, yeah, that guy was caught up so much with the idea of them farming. He didn't think beyond, wait, have them do the farming for us? How does that work? My Wyver only smashes things. I'd love to be a service, but if they can't smash something, I'm afraid we'll be at an impasse. How about smashing rocks and trees? That sounds smashing. Alright, leave it to my Wyver. The garden bed's will be free of obstructions in a blink. That was incredible. You convinced them all just like that. There's one last person we need. His name is Mamool Ja, and he's a Najul, or Jartika banana farmer. We can trust his expertise. Yeah, this is the thing I do like about the reputation quest. While the main quest is typically more about how their society functions on the large scale, these are more about their small scale, day-to-day livings. Even the Pelu Pelu would go with their would mention how they live day-to-day things as part of tours to try and entertain people. This is Mamool Ja. We've been friends since childhood, but after we moved to Tuliolol, we haven't had too much contact. I guess the fact that Tuliolol had way more opportunities for work is also another reason that not too many would be able to stay. Only so many jobs local, after all. You were the part of the third promise's revenue, weren't you? What brings you now? And with Mamool Ja? We've just met, actually. A researcher from afar is beginning gainery work here, and we're both lending a hand. I was hoping you might help us out as well, knowing as much as you do about farming these forests. You think I'd aid a trader who abandoned his homeland for the comforts of Tuliolol? Look on your face. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Although it isn't in great part thanks to this man here that such word could even be said in jest. Much has changed from a book. I'm getting the sense he actually once did believe those words, but he's since changed his mind, especially since, you know, we've saved this city more than a few times. If my best friends finally come home, I'd be a fool to refuse his pleas. Look, joking aside, your words didn't ring hollow. To many I was a traitor, to everything Mamook once stood for, a traitor to my friend for never writing. It broke my heart to leave, but I couldn't stand the zealotry of the blessed siblings. Now that the old teachings have been left in the past, I want to do everything I can to help the future. Thank you, Mamool, for your forgiveness, and I hope you, Coda, and I can forge a new way forward. Alright, we have to hope enough people get started. Let's go and ask her if she needs anything else. Alright, I think as soon as this quest is done, we should open it up. I think I'll unlock a couple steps here, but it shouldn't be too long. The intro quest isn't too long because they want you to be able to start farming these things almost immediately. Oh my, they're already built up here. I don't think these were here before, were they? Oh no, I was just here and no, they weren't. Remember, I was hopping in here, and there was absolutely no fencing or anything here. I do like when story changes result in actual overworld changes like this. Even back in Rome Reborn, they did do that, like how once you created the Crystal Braves, you'd now see them occasionally in the various city-states all over. I must introduce myself. Just let me know how I can help. Mamool Ja is helping out the weavers, carts, and plows. I'll be along soon. Thank you for your aid in recruiting. With a handful of weavers, our work shortage is now but a trifle. The handlers have their orders, but there's one thing I'd ask of you. While fertile, the soil needs additions to better accommodate seeds. A cinder shell should balance it out. Perhaps you could find one in ale-cracked soy. According to local fishers, a golden stonefly nymph should serve you as bait. I have attuned the proper permissions to gather, so as long as your work's done respectfully, we have nothing to fear. We'll begin at setting a base. Let me know if you have anything you need. Right, I'm gonna need to buy from the bait shop over there. So, golden stonefly nymphs. So we'll fly over the shop here and start doing that. Purchase items. That should be good. A bit of a fly, but you know, I don't mind taking a bit of time. As much as I do like the lower half of Yaktel, I do feel like they could have attached this to Cosmouka and maybe made another Alexandria area here, because don't get me wrong, not every expansion uses every area. Like Endwalker only really has Elpis relevant for the brief time you're in there. Although, and while you could argue that Elpis is just a fan service area to show you the world on Sunder for a bit, Shadowbringers also had a few areas it never really has you revisit afterwards. Like, you'd never go to the Tempest after, the patches explicitly go elsewhere. Even when you return in Endwalker for the, what's it called? Yeah, even when you return for the, what's it called? Victory Lap, that's it. When you go back to Victory Lap, it doesn't show up. Mark for the quest detected. Yeah, these usually aren't too hard, so I'm not too worried. Fishing has even more achievements compared to the other gathering jobs, so if you're a fan of the titles, rewards, or even just the achievements themselves, you'll definitely have a pretty good, easy time here. Have plenty of stuff to take your time, at least. Cinder shell, there we are. Yeah, I've actually been getting a good bit into crafting more with this expansion. I don't know what I was missing, although now that I've done cosmic exploration a bit, I noticed that I probably should have done that first and then leveled up all my crafters, because the max level stuff is way, way, way harder to do than the earlier stuff. And sure, I could just wait till the next expansion, since it'll be easier to brute force all that, but like with, I missed the Ishgard restoration because I wasn't crafting back then. I don't want to miss this one, you know? It's one of those server-wide things that only happens once, and while you still do the rewards stuff, you don't get to see it growing as you go. Although this time I do appreciate they have a flyby where you can check out each stage of the development, whereas before, you don't get to, if you miss the stages of Ishgard Restoration, you only see the finished result. You don't get to see the earlier ones, except for YouTube videos that show you, I guess. Which is nice evolution, I guess, of some of the earlier stuff, like Mordona and Idleshire were cities that started basically just a hole in the ground with a teleport crystal there, but now if you go there, even if you're starting a new game, they're all complete crystals and such. They're all complete cities and such. Well, come back. I trust you have what I asked for. Here. Perfect, just what I hoped. All the river handlers mix the fertilizer in the soil as they till it. Do 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 do. And here we go. We officially unlocked the quest. Now I'm probably gonna do the ones here because I believe the first step you can unlock on your own. You can unlock with just the first day's quest. It's a nice introduction, but after that it starts to be a bit grindy. Well, they're not hard, they're just a commitment. It takes about a month for most of them. Cart secure, ready when you are. Just about. Should be ground finely enough to distribute evenly. Once we've tilled the soils, we can begin planting in earnest. Mamool Ja, can I count on your continued support? Me? But Mamool Ja is the one who knows how to grow things. And you have grown our hopes into a viable operation by recruiting necessary allies. Charisma like yours is essential for the Gainery's success. He came back home and he's making it better. Alright, I'll do what I can. On my pride as Mamool Ja for the Mamook. They mentioned this story, but the big reason they wanted the Blessing siblings to rule is because there was a time when the Mamool Ja were basically seen as a head and shoulders above all the others. And that's why the isolationists were pretty upset about that, and we're hoping Bakul will be their way to success. Your assistance would be invaluable, Coda, if you could spare the time. Spare the time. Funny, the Mamool Ja were here since a realm were born, and many were hoping for them to get one of these, but it only took until Dawntrail to finally get one. After all these years, my homestead is about to realize true progress. I'd love to have you with us and build a brighter future for my people. I'll help, and this time it's on my pride as an adventurer. Thank you, I'm in your debt. It's heartening to have you with us. Sorry for the wait, the waivers are ready. Thanks, Mamool Ja. Let us get started. Excellent, excellent. This Gainery will make give Mamook another chance. I can just feel it. I can feel it too. Let's show the world what these lands can grow. Together by our own hands. From hopes yet to fully blossom, Mamook has established a Gainery. Help the Mamool Ja to come to love the land that supports them by aiding the farmers. Excellent. And I'm probably not even going to bother with the gathering relics, though I guess in theory I should. Gokgolma. You may now purchase wares from them. Eat your vegetables. All tools maintenance. Fieldwork takes its toll on all of us. Our tools included. Daily upkeep is vital to tools as soil for our crops. That said, repair tools are in high demand for around the Gainery because of hand replenishing. The soft flesh of solely sponges is ideal for keeping them free of dirt and grime. The Zabral use them as well. As their name implies, you find them dwelling in the fresh waters here. They're quite fond of gold stonefly nymph, so I suggest you stock up if you haven't already. Once you've gathered enough, mark the fields and find Mamool Ja, manages a tool supply. He'll see it your provisions are good to good use. Stems the brakes. Say, if you plan to be out and about, I don't suppose you could produce some Najul stems? In case you're wondering about the sudden demand, Angira requires a few specimens for testing. She seems to plan to repurpose them. In any event, we have plenty of time to discuss the experiments further when you return. Once you arrive, tell Mamool Ja I sent you. She'll supply you with the stems we need. Healing the fields. Gazing out the fields concerned. Maintaining our field soil quality is a daunting task, but necessary one, and one I'd like your assistance with, if you don't mind. As you recall, the materials we use as fertilizer before we planted our first crop, yes? Our supply is dwindling, and we need to replenish our stores with items of similar quality, and soon. Given the soil's current condition, an Ikrox, well, should serve us well. You'll have no trouble reeling them in with Goldfly Nymph. Yeah, for the sake of ease, all ones for each quest line, each reputation quest uses a specific one for the fishing, so you don't have to stock up on 12 billion different kinds unless you're doing different ones. I don't know if you can use generic lures like my, Yeah, you saw that I had some metal ones. Those can work for regular fishing, but they cannot work for these. Huh. Hello, Mamool Ja. Here on behalf of Mamool Ja, yes? The stems are ready. Feel free to take as many as you need. It does my heart good to know they won't be going to waste. Send folks to the granary my regards. Alright, these things are the Najul. They're huge. And like I said, I do appreciate these being their day-to-day chores, so not all of them require fighting for combat ones like the Pelu Pelu, which, by the way, I'm genuinely surprised to not use the trading minigame UI that they made for the main story. Normally when I'm doing the reputation quests, I put a favored destination marker there, but I don't have to do that this time because I already have my base at Tuliolol. And Tuliolol is directly connected to 4 out of the 6 new areas, which is quite convenient. It means I don't have to, I can easily access any of them, basically. I should probably fate grind for Atmas at some point, but I'm not really worried about that. I might still do occasional streams of Occult Crescent just as an excuse to make myself not be lazy and do it, especially with the amount of grinding it does, but rest assured it's not going to just be Final Fantasy XIV. Whoopsie. I'm definitely going to still be mixing it up with various other games. Like, the time of stream, Silksong just came out. You can bet your sweet Bippy I already have it, in fact, but everyone and their dog is streaming it, and to be blunt, I don't want to have to compete with them. Plus, it's not like it's gonna expire or anything. I don't have to rush it. So between that and Burden of Truth coming out soon, I've definitely got my work cut out for me in September. And of course, once October rolls around, I still have my specials. A couple of them I'm going to depend. One of them is around an old game that I may or may not even be able to get to function because it's a Windows 98 game. But if it doesn't work, it's fine. I've got backups, especially with the Steam fall sale coming up. That's definitely also going to open up my options for what I might want to do here and there. And hey, Digimon Time Stranger is also coming out. I don't know if I want that one yet or not. I'm still thinking about it, but I am glad it exists. I can tell you that much. Oh, right. I still have a second fish to catch, and it's going to be all the way over here. Whoops. I could have gotten there easily. Oh, well. I don't know. Do people like me apping, or are you just going to skip past this? I completely respect if you'd rather skip past travel time just to when I actually fish, or if you rather me go to the story beats. Although I guess I have been told some like to draw to my streams and vids, so by all means, I do not let me stop you from doing that. I mean, I watch other streamers I like while I was grinding. It's how I was able to get my Sugar Glider mount. Yeah, seriously, this creature took me basically an entire month of almost non-stop fate grinding. It was ridiculous, but I didn't even know I was still capable of that kind of no-life grind anymore. Part of me is kind of proud, honestly, that I was able to do it, honestly. But yeah, I went through a lot of videos there, and I got reminded which video essays I like and which ones I don't. And which ones are just derivative of the good ones. I'm sure even if you're listening to this now, you can even think of ones that you felt that way about. Oh, a Solely Sponge. Right, that's a quest one. It doesn't show up the thing when it's a quest item. Alrighty, here we are. Here we are. Oh no, that's a Shimmering Shadow. Dang, I'm getting some things that aren't my... I should probably upgrade my gear. I realize that now because remember, this is Endwalker gear. Oh, not all of it is. Oopsie. Wrong button. Yeah, some of this stuff I can just keep. Because it's, as long as anything 90 plus is probably going to be fine until I get to 100 proper, but... Dang. Is my gathering not high enough? Maybe I should have upgraded my gear. I remember when Endwalker started, I was basically fishing in no gear, and that made it almost impossible to get the items I wanted because, the rate of which you get the fish you want depends entirely on your gathering stat, and, if you don't have any gear other than the weapon and such, you don't have gear. You don't have any gathering stats. In fact, I still have the stream if you want to watch how much I was suffering for that. But yeah, now I have outdated gear, but I still nonetheless actually have a gathering stat, so I just need to upgrade it later. I'll probably just buy some of the NPC vendor stuff. It's not ideal, but it's going to be more than enough for what I'm doing here, and for cosmic exploration, I suppose. Plus, it'll be especially easier once Fisher actually gets to 100 proper, because, then I can get my item level at a reasonable level. Yeah, 620. 750 is currently the highest, but 690 is perfectly reasonable, and you can buy that from the NPCs. For these quests, that is. If you want to do the real stuff that you sell to people and make money, the stuff that people do to make money in this game, that's not going to be enough, but I imagine if you're doing that to make money in this game, you don't need me to explain how that works. Yeah, I have to turn this in first, so I can turn them in all at once, and then I think I can actually unlock the next set of quests. Here's the sponge. This should do nicely. Out of the storehouse soon as I'm able. Thanks for the assistance. There we are. I'm sure they won't want me stomping across the soil, right? Yeah, they may not have proper schedules like in Skyrim, but they do try and at least move across the area they work to simulate the idea that they are doing their daily work, daily routines. There you are. I hear you made quick work procuring the supplies. You have my thanks. Every tool inevitably wears with time, even more so with daily use. Proper maintenance and care is essential. The same can be said for the folks who use them. When your body needs a break, you'll best listen to it. We have plenty more tasks ahead, so we'd rather you be well rested. Healing the field. Glad you returned. I take it you found the materials without issue? Oh well. Cousin the Cinder Shell, this Wavekin's charcoal-rich carapace is known to improve soil health. Quality specimens as usual. This will be great help to us. The soil wants for nutrients after a harvest, so any new fields we plow will demand supplementary fertilizer. Your contributions go a long way towards a more bountiful crop. Hope I can count on you again when our next supplies grow. Welcome back. How's your trip to the grove? Medjool stems, stuffed with fragrant, fibrous stems of the banana trees. Much obliged. These are excellent samples, and sufficiently fibrous. Nodule stems are found when the fruit meets the leaves, you see. To the undisciplined eye, one might mistake them as part of the trunk. While they're perfectly edible, we tend to dispose of them after the harvest. Angear, however, believes their naturally occurring fibers could be utilized to craft string and cloth. And with these samples, she should be able to put those theories to proof. If we require any more of them, we'll keep you informed. Yeah. Alright, that's going to be all for now. Alright, well, one step at a time, very slowly. I'll be making sure to, go through these. I'll see if I want to stick to fishing after I max out leveling it, because like I said, Fisher's the last one that's not gathering job I have that's not level 100, and they haven't added a new one since Rome Reborn. So, yeah, guess that'll be all. Until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.